911.
Help me, I'm Amanda Berry.
Okay, what's going on there?
I've been kidnapped and I've been missing for 10 years and I'm here, I'm free now.
This is the story of Amanda Berry, Michelle Knight, and Gina DeJesus, three women who were kidnapped and held captive for over 10 years by Ariel Castro, who drove around the state of Cleveland between 2002 and 2004, looking for victims to kidnap and sexually assault, even to go so far as to call the mothers of one of the children and tell her
that I have her daughter and that she's my wife.
Which he stated in an interview after being captured, which is where the questions started.
What I'd like to do is start with the first girl that was at your house, Michelle. Do you know her last name?
Knight.
Do you remember when you first met her?
No, but it was at Family Dollar on Clark Avenue. I think I overheard talk to someone that she had to go to an appointment.
Okay.
I said, hey, how you doing? I hear that you have to get somewhere. Can I take you there? She says, okay. She got much. And I asked her if it's okay if we stop at the house.
When you come home with Michelle, she voluntarily comes in the house. She say, hey, mind if we stop in the house? She goes in.
Yeah, I didn't force her.
Okay.
I tied her to a pole with some ties, those plastic ties.
The zip ties for... Was that the first day?
I put a chain around her too. So
Okay.
she broke the ties, but she couldn't get out of the chain.
It is believed that Ariel Castro thought Michelle Knight wanted to be there, and he had convinced himself that what he was doing was the right thing.
Did it ever come a point in your time that you decided that you may want to have sexual relations with her?
That was the whole intention.
That was the whole intention of why you took her? Why did you feel it was necessary to tie a chain around her ankle?
Because I've been sick for many years.
How soon after having Michelle did you come in contact with Amanda Berry?
I would say within a year.
How did you come in contact with Amanda?
As I'm driving, I had my window down. She was on the sidewalk walking to her house, and I said, hey, how you doing? I'm going that way, something like that. Would you like a ride? She said yes. I took her cell phone.
Did you ever use that cell phone?
Yes. I called her mom.
What'd you say to her mom?
That I have her daughter and that she's my wife. No.
When you get Amanda back to your house, you make that phone call, what happens then?
I chained her to the steam radiator on her ankle.
How soon after you had her did you engage in sexual activity with her?
I know it wasn't, long.
When you chained her
It
by
was
the...
consensual.
How soon after getting Amanda did you come in contact with Gina?
That I don't recall, but I think it was maybe within a year or two.
Did Gina tell you how old she was when you first took her?
Thinking right around 14. I was attracted to Gina because she was showing her cleavage, and I was just attracted to that.
At what point do you decide to say, I'm going to try and pick her up?
When I noticed that she was walking alone.
Did you restrain Gina with chains also?
Yes.
I'm assuming that sexual activity took place with Gina too.
Maybe within the first day.
First day, maybe?
No, second day.
How soon after you have Amanda does she get...
I don't know.
How did that delivery take place? Did she get at the house?
Yes. In the master bedroom.
In the master bedroom?
She just went into labor and the water broke there.
Okay, the water broke.
I knew the baby was coming, so I right away thought of a swimming pool that I had there. One of those plastic swimming pools. I took it upstairs and put it on the bed, and I told her, get in there, deliver the baby that way. All right, we're gonna take you back, okay?
At this point, the police got what they wanted and took Ariel Castro out to the courtroom, where he was sentenced to holding three women captive for over 10 years, after which the women were brought home, finally returning to their families.
Back up! Stop! Back up!
Just want to say we are so happy to have Amanda and her daughter home.
After 6 days, Ariel Castro agreed on a plea deal, carrying life in prison without parole. After spending 30 days in prison, Ariel Castro couldn't take it anymore and tried to balance on his neck. But even after all that happened, the survivors are thriving and building new lives for themselves.
Animals have a sense of who's good and who's bad, but when they're abused, they are confused. It's just like with a human, when they come home from a traumatic experience like I didn't know who to trust. In order to break down those walls, you have to be kind, patient, loving, understanding.
You're okay, buddy.
The greatest gift is giving them a forever home and a second chance in life.
You're good.
Unfortunately, not all children get saved. Such is the case with Seth Welsh, who was charged in 2018 with starving his kid that sadly didn't make it. Seth Welsh lived in such a dirty apartment that the police didn't believe that the starvation was an accident, which is why they had some questions for him.
I'm sorry you're going through this. I told you that earlier on. How long have you is it Tatiana, right? I keep Tatiana. How long have you guys been married?
I don't know how long we've been married for, like 3 years. March 2015, I think.
Okay.
Been together since September 2011.
Okay, and are all of your children your guys' children? Okay.
Why I am very anti-medical industry is because of what happened with her birth. She coughed one time, and so they said that they had to keep her under observation for 72 hours to make sure she didn't have a breathing problem. She didn't have a breathing problem. She coughed one time to clear some birth fluid out of her lungs.
Right.
And they kept us under observation for 72 hours.
Oh, wow, you're paying for it?
Of course, yeah, the bill was about $15,000. So, so that was kind of a kick in the rear. And then afterwards, we had some problems where I actually had a doctor make a fraudulent CPS claim, and I actually forged paperwork and stuff like that. And I tried to make a complaint about it, but nobody listens.
That was also more of a get-rich scheme, wasn't it? Kind of
Yeah.
like I'm gonna make some money off from a product that someone really doesn't need.
Yes.
Now Seth seems to blame the doctor's mistake and acts like he had nothing to do with his daughter's death, which the detectives know is untrue.
He issued two separate flavors, forms of paperwork. One that had a bunch of notes on it saying all sorts of bad healthcare things we were doing wrong, and the copy of the paperwork he gave to us that said she was fine. So that was about my last straw with it.
Was that to do with the helmet? And is that
Yeah.
so it all started with, if I'm right, it all started with the helmet.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
Well, it all started with the cough, but then to the helmet.
I'm not a big fan of a lot of the immunization stuff, and so I kind of balked against that, and they didn't like that either. They even got to the point where they, the first time we changed doctors, they called CPS on us just for changing doctors, because the doctor we were seeing was all the way in Byron Center. I'm done with medical stuff. We're home birthing. It's
the way to go anyways, isn't it?
I
So I heard, like, hey, I'm coming whether you're ready or not.
Yeah, so there you go.
So, and that's kind of what Tatiana explained too, is that she was going through immunization, she was with, and everything was kind of okay, but there was, both of you had done some research and you weren't too keen on immunizations, and then come along the helmet.
Mm-hmm.
You guys wanted to get a second opinion on the helmet, so you don't need anything. And so you chose not to get a helmet, and then that's kind of when the CPS referral came along,
Mm-hmm.
the failure to thrive type referral, if this is sounding correct.
Mm-hmm.
She was born?
Yeah, she's, well, I guess I had it refreshed today. I guess from what Tatiana said, she's 14 ounces. So,
Wow, what's the odds of that?
yeah, and she was even earlier, too. That's why I just didn't, it never, bothered me too much that she was skinny, because she came out.
Yeah.
Rather than addressing the mere 14 ounces that the baby weighed, Seth quickly changes the conversation to avoid getting into hot waters.
Where she had just been up pacing around all night, and then the baby started sliding out. And things are a lot easier when you do them at home, I'll tell you what.
Well, yeah, you don't have to drive anywhere.
Yeah, and the position they put you in the hospital is very, just bad medicine, just whatever.
What position are you at home?
And you just stand up.
Do you really?
Yeah, and the gravity just shoots the baby right now. They don't have you up, facing upward, pushing against gravity. It makes no sense.
No, it actually would make sense if you think about it.
Yeah.
Never seen it. So you have to just kind of be under there, like you're like the quarterback.
Yeah, she got up there. She got up there. She was late for the delivery. She checked over the baby, said she's healthy. And,
Is that what she does? A midwife, they kind of tie off their tubes or whatever it is they have to do, and
yes. They do the dirty work that anybody could do. It's just
no one wants to do it.
A lot of us just aren't willing to do it. But yeah, really, what they mop up the blood and they go over your check sheet of check this to see if the baby's healthy.
So feeding the children has never been a real part of your responsibility.
A little bit. I've been feeding her dinner. I feed her tons of solid food. I feed her 3 or 4 of those, those Gerber cups. And she just wolf them right down, no problem.
Were you guys buying solid food or making solid food?
Both.
Okay. What were you making?
If we made anything, it was just like sweet potatoes grinded up and she made the baby.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So what she was saying is what she could recall is like some vegetables out of your garden.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe whatever it was you had growing at that time.
Yeah.
And then she'd throw something in it, maybe breast milk, to make the vegetables more palatable. Whatever that word is.
Palatable.
Yeah. And then she would make like a little fruit smoothie, maybe some blueberries, some like that. And then she did say that potatoes and stuff like that. When did you guys start with her on solid foods?
It's been a couple months now. Since the beginning of summer.
Okay.
I would want to say maybe since April, because that's when Tatiana started working at her job.
So dinner time is 5.
Yeah, it was nothing too. We're not too, regulated. We're not too uptight, but yeah, generally, she'd get up. Let's just say general timing, it'd be up again, 4:30 to 5. She'd eat 5:30, be back in bed by like 6:30.
Okay. And then she'd be back in bed at 6:30. Then when was the next feeding?
A lot of times I think that's probably my wife breastfeeds her at night.
Oh, when she got home from work?
Yeah,
okay.
So I wouldn't really know about that.
Because you'd usually be in bed by then?
Yeah, so...
early mornings on the farm?
Yeah, so my wife might breastfeed her in the middle of the night, or breakfast time when she gets up again.
So typically speaking, that dinner meal would be because then she would sleep till your wife got home, and so that would be the last. So you have to just feed her really
once.
Yeah. Or if she wanted to goof off a little bit before feedings, you might split that once up into twice. So at what point did you guys become concerned about her weight?
Okay, so it's always kind of been there. It's always been something that we've watched. However, it never seemed to cause, because it never did. But I just know you guys are watching my words, so it never caused her. Let's put it this way: she never was sickly in any way, slow, lethargic. No health indicators that said anything was wrong, other than that she was skinny, which I just didn't let it get to me, because, like I said, very skinny. She started putting on weight recently. We really started pounding the solid food down in the last month or so. Really making sure she gets some chicken, potatoes, cheese, stuff.
The detectives don't quite believe that they started feeding the baby more, since it was so skinny that it looked like she hadn't eaten anything for weeks.
So when you started putting the high proteins, how recently was that?
A month or two.
Okay.
And
because that's what Tatiana said, is that probably the last month or two is when you guys actually became a little concerned about the weight.
Yeah, but I kind of was like, because my mom's always been honest about it. Always.
She's always on you. Get some food in this kid.
Yeah, she always says, yeah, wait, are you guys feeding? I'm like, Mom, go look at the garbage. I mean, there's, like, I can't feed the kid enough.
Right.
She just,
When was the last time your mom was on you about it?
Last week, Sunday.
Not this last Sunday, the one before that?
Yes.
Okay. And you were at your mom's, or she was at your place?
She was at our house.
And she thought that she was gaining weight?
She remarked that her cheeks seemed a lot fuller.
Okay.
I don't remember that specifically,
So a month or two ago, you two became concerned and started putting some proteins to her, some chickens and cheeses and whatever, just trying to bulk her up a little bit. And did you believe it was starting to work?
I seemed to definitely notice that she was getting heavier. Tatiana mentioned it to me. My mom mentioned it to me, so I would say yes.
So Tatiana thought she was getting healthier too, and that she was getting bigger? Okay.
Because she's always been growing long, she's just never put the meat, like never put the meat on.
Right, yeah. So Tatiana, correct me if this is wrong, Tatiana said that, and it's kind of what you said, but especially about the last month, you guys became concerned that you started very consistently and regularly, heartily praying over, Lord, help her gain weight. Does that sound right?
I don't, she may have. I haven't really been so much.
Okay.
But I'm glad to hear she was.
Yep. So you guys, you when she started losing her weight, you thought maybe it was just a growing spurt, and she had lost weight, and so she was getting. And is that what you attributed her? I'm sorry, not the weight loss, the sleeping, to a growth spurt? Is that what you attributed it?
I've done this, I think, maybe 3 times in the last week where she slept so long I had to like nudge Tatiana and make some jokes now that I would.
Yeah, I know.
You know, but you don't really think too much of it at the time. Then where she had been sleeping for 15, 16 hours straight, and you know, Tati just went and woke her up, and she woke right up. Oh, look who's a hungry baby, kind of thing. You know. So today when it happened, I didn't really think anything of it differently. I just thought it was, oh, another sleepy baby. You know, she was, especially, you know, my wife like keeps her up all morning, so she's just exhausted sometimes by the time she goes to bed. And you know, if she doesn't make a peep, if she doesn't make a sound, or if she's in there and you know everything, as far as I know, everything is fine when she's put down, I mean, I'm not inclined to wake the kid up.
Right, sure. But Seth, here's the thing: is that she's so tiny. Was there never a time that you just like, well, there's something really wrong?
There was never a time where I thought there was something really wrong. I did say to Tatiana, you know, hey, you know, with her being the age she is, let's really try to see if, like, the protein, the fat and the protein, as her digestive system is developed, let's see if that kicks things into gear, and if not, you know, let's go see a doctor. Because, you know, she's a skinny little girl.
When did you have that conversation?
I think it might have been 2 weeks ago. Yeah, because even at that point I was just a little, you know, how's it going to hurt?
So how much, 2 weeks ago, how much did you figure that she weighed?
I don't know.
Well, was she the same size now, smaller, bigger?
I don't know.
Okay. So today, tell me about today. I know it's tough.
Yeah, you know, I just kind of like woke up like a regular day. I wasn't feeling very well last night. So I kind of, I slept in because I didn't sleep very well. I think I rolled out of bed like 8 to 8:30, took care of some chores, and then I laid back down. And then my wife told me she was going to go right up the street to the neighbor's house to go get some kids. And when she came back, I woke up.
So what did you do when she told you that?
I split out of bed and raced to the room and
So they're helpless, right? Like, what, you know what to do?
What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
I could tell she was dead from looking at her.
But Tatiana couldn't.
She's a mom.
Right.
So.
Yep.
I'm used to dealing with a lot of dead bodies with the farm.
Yeah.
So I know what they look like. That was that.
His child died just this morning, and it really doesn't seem to bother him much, which makes the detectives question if what he's saying is true.
So what did Tatiana do?
She tried to do CPR.
So were you in there when she was doing, were you in the same room with her when she was trying CPR?
Yeah, yeah.
And then what were you doing?
She's the one who knows how to do all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So I was looking and watching and thinking about what to do, thinking about, just trying to think about what to do next.
So what did you do next?
Call my dad.
Okay, and then what did you tell your dad?
I don't know what to do.
What did he say?
Well, I kind of figured I was supposed to call the police. I don't know. I don't have any experience with it now.
Sure.
Well, I didn't then. I do now. So I just called him and said, hey, should I call the police or what? I don't know how this works. And he said, yeah, we'll be on the way. Call them when we get there, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It had been about an hour and some change, and I was starting to get impatient because I did not want to. I know how it looks when people wait to make a police call, so I just.
Mm-hmm. So you called prior to your.
So I got impatient. I called them. I'm like, are you guys here yet? Because it's like 11:05 now. I knew there was going to be a process too, so I wanted to get things going.
Yeah.
And they were in Cedar at the gas station, and they're like, yeah, we'll be there. And so then I called you guys.
So, because obviously you're an intelligent man, so obviously for us, and you just said it yourself, it looks weird, right? But I'm saying you didn't know what you're doing, but in our world, we deal with this a lot, and so we don't know every single person in the county and everyone's personalities.
Sure. And I wanted to just call you guys first, but I was following my legal advice. So I'm sorry if that is a problem at all. I just doing what the lawyer told me to do.
No, and well, here's the thing. I'm not saying so. I'm just telling you. I'm just confirming what you said. It looks weird. That's all. We're not saying that you did something horrible in those 2 hours. We're just saying that that's not the norm. So,
sure.
So what did you guys do during the 2 hours?
I sat there and cried.
Yeah.
Tatiana called it her job.
Yeah. Did your parents?
She was always very healthy. She was never sick.
She acted that way. So.
Yeah, so it never, if she had been sickly in any way, it would have been, okay, that's it. She's sickly and skinny. But she was always just skinny.
But Seth, that's where I'm going to disagree with you. Okay? I'm a parent. I'm a father. I have 3 children.
Mm-hmm.
He's a father. You're a father.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And I'm just being honest with you. Okay? Because I don't know how to be anything other than. Okay? And I'm telling you right now, I've been doing this job for a long time. Okay? And he'll tell you when I walked in that bedroom today. All right? I started crying. Okay? I looked at that little baby, and I looked at her for a millisecond,
mm-hmm.
and I knew that she wasn't right. And I knew that she wasn't right for some time. Okay? And you're her father.
Yep. And I'll tell you, I saw her when she was dead too. She was much more gaunt when she was dead than she ever was when she was alive. I mean, I got pictures on my phone. I'm.
Yeah.
Right, but let me ask you this: when's the last time you saw that baby without any clothes on in a bath?
Me, I've never given her a bath.
Okay, but you changed her diaper
mm-hmm.
maybe a day and a half ago, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not putting words in your mouth. You said that, correct?
Mm-hmm.
How did you not, when you looked at her a day and a half ago changing her diaper, and realize that my daughter is skin and bones? When I looked at her belly in the house, okay, and I'm not exaggerating this.
Oh, I know.
I could see the outline of her intestines through her stomach. I could see her spine completely through her back. I could see every one of her ribs through her chest.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, like I said, I'm not happy about it either. You know, you're welcome to go through my garbage and look at the baby food containers, and
Seth, here's the thing, and I'm certainly not knocking on his faith. I have the same faith in the same creator that you have. Does your faith prevent you from allowing you to use medical services?
No.
So you would use medical services, or you would not? So it's just your experience that prevents you, not your faith.
No, in some ways, like for example, on the immunization, it started out with a rational concern, but yeah, faith-based, you know, you'd have to strap us down to a table and put it in there.
Okay. Does that apply to your children too?
Yes.
Okay.
Would I do anything different? Oh yeah, I totally would. I would have listened to my elders, and I would have taken her to go see a doctor.
Because that's what your parents were telling you.
You said your elders?
Yeah, you know, older people who would say, oh, you know, she's, you know, like what you guys are saying.
Yeah.
So,
how far back would you go when you would do something different?
How far back would I go that I would do something different?
When would you have taken her?
When would I have taken her?
Knowing what you know today.
Knowing what I know today, I would probably take all the kids to the doctor, at least for preliminary stuff.
Looking back, was it a week ago? Was it 2 weeks ago? Was it 3 weeks ago? Was it a month ago? When would you have done something different? When you know, this didn't happen overnight. She didn't get this malnourished and skinny overnight, okay? This is a lengthy process, okay? And this has been going on for some time. That's what I'm asking. At what point, you knowing what you know today, if you could go back and reset the clock to try to prevent today, how far back do you think you would go?
I don't know, because I can't tell you. You know, maybe the first mention somebody had that I respected, that she was too skinny. That she was too
How
thin.
long ago was that?
I don't know. Like I said, she's been skinny since she was born.
So how many people that you respected have told you that?
My mom and my mom.
How was your dad? You probably figured Dad just back in your mom's play?
Pretty much.
Yeah. So, today, at what point today did you and or Tatiana think, this doesn't look good? The size of her, all of this doesn't look good.
Today?
Yeah.
Well, we didn't, we kind of like woke up and she was dead, so.
No, but I mean after that, when you were thinking that this is like, as far as it doesn't look good that we didn't get her the medical treatment or whatever, at what point today did you think that?
I don't know. I guess I haven't really worried about it too much.
Okay.
The detectives keep questioning Seth about why he never took the child to the doctor, and Seth suddenly gets really defensive.
What am I going to do? Like inject her with liposuction? And what are the doctors going to do?
But, because here's the thing.
There's more. You know what the leading cause of death in this country is, don't you? Well, yeah, it's medical malpractice.
It is. I'll give you that.
It's more dangerous. It's more dangerous to take your kid to the doctor than to leave them alone.
That's not what most people think. Most people think it's cops, but
I get what you're saying.
So there you go. We got.
No, I get what you're saying, because there's some stats that go along with some of this. But here's what I'm saying, though, is on this case, when we know, because I know you guys are doing what you're saying you're doing. I know you're feeding them protein. We can see it We're not dumb either. We can look around the house like these guys are piling food in this girl. So when that's not working, then we know there's something. There's Crohn's disease, there's diabetes. There is a disease that has to be that's not allowing this girl to absorb the nutrients for these foods, and you know that.
Yeah, you're correct. I do know that. I guess I never thought of it. Where there's no family history. Like I said, recently, regardless of what the pictures show, you know, people who've been around her for 10 months, you know, commented. We all noticed that she was getting bigger. So I was just like, oh, finally, okay, we're through that stage. I was worried for a little bit there, but she's putting on the weight now. You know, she's clearly getting heavier. So I kind of thought we were through it.
Let me ask you an honest answer. Do you feel responsible in any way for what happened today?
I feel like that's a bit of a trap question, but
no. Or do you just
stay honest?
Or do you think it's just God's will?
Well, just because it might be God's will doesn't mean that there's not that it's not His will according to our actions, or it doesn't mean that we're not responsible in some way for what has come about. And so, I take responsibility on myself for anything that goes wrong in my life at all, even if it's totally not my fault. What could I have done? You know, I'm sure you'd had something like that in Marine Corps, you know, where it's just like, you're not always in control of everything, but take care of what's on your end to be taken care of.
Yeah.
And
you gotta watch your six.
Yeah. So, you know, for me, do I take some responsibility? Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll never forget it. And I doubt there'll be like 30 minutes where if Tatiana carries this baby to term and you guys let us keep it, I doubt there'll be 30 minutes where there's not somebody checking through the people with a light on in the room.
How did that hole get in the door again?
About 5 years ago, when I styled myself a patriot and a gun nut and all that good stuff, all that cool right-wing stuff, I was working on my AK in the gas tube. I was a total idiot, and like the gas tube was stuck, and I was trying to bang it in there, and and the hammer flew out the back of my hand right into the door.
Hey, if the AK don't work, get a hammer.
Well, why is Tatiana saying she put the hole in the door? That's what I'm confused about.
Because she went through a lot when she was a kid. Her memory can sometimes be a little about details and stuff like that. So I don't know why she'd say that.
Well, we're gonna get you guys out of here in a second, but
I have a difficult question to ask you, because I'm asking this, and maybe it was asked, but I know I'm gonna be asked this question in the morning. So, have you or Tatiana or your mother and father back at the house, did anybody talk about funeral arrangements, what funeral home you would like her to go to, or?
Yeah, we've kind of touch and go dealt with it.
okay. Something you guys gotta start thinking about.
Yeah, I think I can't just like bury her under an apple tree or something like that. No.
You'd have to ask. We don't know all the rules of burying and stuff. I don't know. Maybe you can get a permit to do something like that.
Yeah, or you gotta Google it maybe.
Yeah, I have no idea. But you can't just bury her under without getting some kind of process, as far as we know. So.
Yeah, my mom said she knows people, so she'd do it somehow.
Both Seth Welsh and his wife Tatiana were convicted in August of 2018 of first-degree murder on counts of negligence and malnutrition, and they were both sentenced to life in prison without parole.